Welcome back to Twisted Chamber, everyone. I'm Kat.
I'm Natasha.
Hello.
Hello.
Happy Christmas.
Merry Christmas! I'm so excited.
Yeah.
I literally can't wait.
I know.
Yeah.
It's so close now.
It's so close. What are you doing for Christmas Day?
Oliver and I are chilling at home with little Dot this year.
Oh, it's her first Christmas.
And if you don't see on YouTube her little face,
she's making
on
an
it.
appearance.
Yeah.
Yes.
So is my super loud Christmas jumper.
Yeah, it is loud. The last couple of episodes, you have been playing. I think you've been representing serial killers for us for our episodes. First it was Jeffrey Dahmer, and now we have the Green River Killer.
100%.
Yeah.
I look like the Green River Killer today with this horrible jumper on. It's a lovely turtleneck.
Yeah, it's like a strangling.
Yeah, my throat, dude. It's so soft though. It's so soft, but man, I do not like things around my neck or touching them.
It's like that feeling, isn't it? Yeah.
Oh,
my jumper.
Yeah, she is jingling today for the holiday.
Christmas tree. Oh, Christmas tree.
And now Dot.
And now Dot wants to know about my jumper.
Yeah,
that's what she does. It's okay. Yeah, I'm so excited. I think I'm flying out on Sunday.
Yes, that's right. That's
yes.
come. Oh man, that's come around so fast.
So fast.
So yeah, you and Wally are gonna be together for little Christmas.
Yeah, Christmas.
And you get to decorate when you get there.
I'm so excited. I'm looking at Kat's got her tree up and it looks amazing. And I'm slightly jealous because I haven't managed to decorate a Christmas tree yet. And
no, I love doing it, and I always do it at Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
always. I don't know why. Ever since I got here to this country, I was like, oh, Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to cook for two.
No,
it's not that type of dinner.
No, it's not. No, well, if you ever want me to come over and eat for like two people,
I also hate cooking.
I would definitely come for a Thanksgiving shindig.
I know, but cooking is the worst.
Oh,
it's the worst. I really get frustrated by it.
Okay,
I do.
Although
you are like the pioneer woman. You're out here making cakes and cookies all the time.
I do try.
Man, yeah. I know.
I think I podcaster / baker. I think that's my new job.
Is that going to be the new job title?
It will be.
After beauticianing is done.
Yeah.
And over with.
Although when I'm like 60 and I'm like crooked over because I've been bending over everyone for the last 60 years. I'm just crooked.
You'll just have a little hunchback.
I'll have more. Yeah.
I'll call you hunch.
I'll be like the crooked woman instead of the crooked man. She walked.
Yeah, well, you could be the crooked woman.
She filed a crooked nail and snipped a crooked toe.
Oh, crooked toes are the worst.
Oh, I like doing feet. I have a real thing. As a beauty therapist, a foot that comes in.
Ugliest thing I've ever seen.
I enjoy it. I suppose it's a good thing I enjoy doing the feet thing because by the time I filed it and done everything, the feet, they look pretty, especially Christmas time because I'm sticking snowflakes and Rudolphs and painting things on people's nails this year that they don't have a choice. If you're coming in for me for Christmas for a nail appointment, you're having something on your nails. Sorry. That's how that
has
goes.
To be sparkly and Christmassy.
Yes.
And that's it.
That is it. Yes, it is.
Yeah, yes. This jumper is loud.
It's lovely though.
It is touching my throat. So if people on YouTube are like seeing me kind of ostrich out, it's I'm trying to move around.
Trying to not be restricted.
Yeah.
And I'll apologise for the slight jingle every couple of minutes because I just hit myself and they jingle and it's okay, we're festive today.
We are festive.
Yeah.
The spirit.
In the spirit, yes. And Christmas being a pagan holiday.
Yes. That's right. I have a blessing.
You do.
I do. I have a winter solstice blessing.
Oh, lovely.
Dude. If I butcher it, I apologize.
Okay.
Because
you're forgiven.
Dr. Seuss wasn't really my strong suit. This is very rhymey.
Oh, lovely.
The child of promise, the sun is reborn, bringing hope to the darkness of the forlorn. Death has been and left its mark with winter's bleakness, cold and stark. The tides of darkness turn, We know the days will now grow long. The holly and mistletoe adorn the fir tree, symbolizing life, friendship, and festivity. Gifts strengthen the bonds of love as the sun starts to grow in the sky above. We look towards the promise of spring and make our plans for new year to bring, with joy in our hearts as the old year departs.
Oh, blessed be.
Oh, cute.
Lovely.
Yeah. How sweet is that? That's just nice,
good.
isn't it? It gets you in the spirit, right?
It does get you in the spirit. And actually, this is going to sound really awful, but as pagan, not practicing anymore. I say not practicing. I do, yes and no, I do. But I don't know whether you knew that the Christian Christmas isn't actually mentioned in the Bible.
Is it not?
No, it doesn't say anywhere in the Bible that you are to celebrate Christmas.
Well, it has been retranslated, like 500 and
yes,
or not 500, sorry, like 6,000 something times.
Yes. Although I do, yeah, because Christ wasn't actually born on Christmas Day.
No, he was not. No,
so,
he wasn't.
No. So a pagan holiday was stolen.
Now look, Santa is terrifying though.
Oh no, I love Santa.
Santa scared me.
I do think that as adults, when you're talking to your children and you're like, kids, don't talk to strangers, but it's okay to let a grown man in your bedroom at night sit on the end of your bed and give you presents. I think that contradicts
not really. Okay, an old man knowing where I slept at night and that could come down my chimney. I lost my mind as a kid. I was like, oh, hell no, Mom. I don't want Santa coming to my house. Who the hell is he?
Oh, okay. We had a neighbor, his name was John, had a neighbor, and he used to dress up as Santa. And on Christmas Eve, my childhood friend Oliver and I would be asleep. We'd often have a sleepover. I mean, we're only small, we're like 4 or 5, and we'd have a sleepover. And he would come on Christmas Eve just after we'd fallen asleep. And my mum would let him in the house, and he would ho, ho, ho all the way upstairs. And we would get so excited, and he'd bring our presents.
Oh, would he? Oh, how sweet, though.
I know, very sweet.
There is a magical side to it, isn't there?
I literally can't wait to have kids.
Well, we will not get on that subject. I can't wait for you. I can't wait.
We have a pact.
Hey, oh.
Yes.
Gives me shivers.
Yeah. Talking about shivers though, real quick. Oh. So yesterday, was it yesterday or the day before? I was in the bathroom brushing my teeth, and I felt a brush along the lower part of my back.
No, you didn't.
I did in my bathroom. I am not even lying to you. I literally
Where is the cat then?
What cat?
The cat that must have brushed past you.
Mm-hmm. There was something in the bathroom behind me. Yeah.
Oh, come on.
Honestly, I swear, we're talking about a lot of stuff. Creepy, paranormal things. I think we're no longer knocking on the door. I now currently believe that we have opened the door slightly and we're peeking through.
I'm gonna go ahead and shut that door.
Oh no.
See ya.
We're peeking and things are peeking back.
No, I'm not here for the peeking, okay? I am not here for that.
Oh dear.
No thanks.
Yes. Well, you'll be pleased to know that this week I don't have a paranormal story, so there's no peeking.
Oh, okay, that's nice.
I have a murder.
Oh, we have a murder today.
We have a I just want to throw out Hunger Games because I'm sorry.
Really?
Yeah. You'll get it. You'll see. You probably, I don't know, you might have even heard of this particular one, but you definitely, it's definitely Murder Game-esque.
Oh my God. Yeah. Okay.
Hunger Games, not Murder Games. Hunger Games, sorry, I said
Hunger
it wrong.
Games, Murder Games, same thing.
Same thing, absolutely. Same thing. Okay, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready for your story.
Perfect. Everyone get comfy? Right then. Robert Christian Hansen, also known as Bob or the Butcher Baker.
Oh dear.
Oh yes.
Oh no.
I love a name title. The Butcher
I love
something.
A title.
I like a title. Yeah. Was born on February the 15th, 1939 in Estherville, Iowa. Hansen's parents, Christian Hansen, a Danish immigrant, and Edna Hansen. Growing up, he had a difficult relationship with his father. His dad being very strict with Robert, making him at a young age work in the family's bakery. He did long hours, making it difficult for Hansen to gain any kind of social life during school or anything like that, friends and stuff. Hansen was also bullied at school. He had a stutter, which the kids teased him about.
Oh, and see, that's so sad, man. Kids are the worst.
Kids are mean. They are just mean. Like, there's no need for that.
Kids will make up, like, hey, some of it's clever, the things they make up.
Yeah, it is.
It is pretty good.
It is good.
But
at the same
you're going to
time,
traumatize someone for the rest of their life.
Yeah, forever.
By being a little shit.
Yes, completely. Yeah, he had acne as well, which made that even worse. His kids would just, they'd see his skin, they'd hear his stutter. Yeah, he was just an outsider. Robert graduated high school in 1957, not knowing what to do and wanting to get a little bit away from his family and his father. He enlisted in the US Army Reserves, and this gave him a little break from working in the bakery. He would serve one weekend a month, but the rest of the time he was still working in his father's bakery. So he had, one weekend away from the strictness of his dad to, go and do what he wanted to kind of learn how to be an adult.
Okay.
Kind of. During his time in the Army Reserve, he became a skilled marksman and honing in and practicing his shooting skills. So we're practicing. We're practicing. Robert also volunteered as an assistant drill sergeant at the local police academy in the town of Pocahontas.
Pocahontas there?
I would like to think that she is.
Oh,
I didn't know you had a town named after her, but how lovely.
Yeah, that's nice.
In 1960, Robert fell in love and married a local girl. I don't have her name. Details of his past and things have kept very shut online for various reasons. In the same year, his life of crime began. He went back to his school, a place of torment for him, and he set fire to a bus in the school garage. Somebody saw him, recognized him to be Robert Hansen, and the police were told, and Hansen went to prison for arson. He served 20 months of a 3-year sentence. While he was incarcerated, he was diagnosed with manic depression with periodic schizophrenic episodes.
Oh, okay, that's a combination.
That's a combination. So he's sad and people are talking to him at the same time.
Oh, no.
Yeah, we've all got messed up. The doctor who diagnosed him also said that Hansen had infantile personality, which was an obsession. And was also an obsession with getting people back he felt had wronged him. Okay. An infantile personality is a lack of mental progress. So basically, a very childlike mind. He lacked generalization and the inability to just cues. So he wasn't very good at seeing people's social cues. He didn't have that kind of mind, being childish as well as all the other things going on.
Okay, so what, like a little bit of autism here we're talking?
Quite possibly. Yeah. I don't know back then if that, I don't possibly think there was a diagnosis for autism.
Not yet,
the 60s, no. So that, again, could be something that he had. During his prison sentence, his wife divorced him, so she didn't want anything to do with him. In 1963, Hansen remarried and had 2 children with another lady who he'd met. And then in 1967, after serving a few jail sentences for petty thefts, he realized that he was starting to get noticed by the police. So he took his family and they moved to Alaska.
Oh, good old Alaska.
Oh, good old Alaska. Yeah.
Oh, goodness. Okay.
He started to build a new life for himself and the family, and he became quite liked in the community of Anchorage. He joined some hunting clubs and went on to break several hunting records. So he'd won.
Oh, okay. So he was good
shooter. So he was a good marksman. He'd obviously, the army had helped hone his skills, so that's what he did. His weapon of choice was a rifle and a bow and arrow.
Oh my god!
So he was like a
Robin Hood,
like a Robin Hood of the Alaskan bush. Yeah, but a bow and arrow must be more difficult than a rifle because you have to get the wind, the distance, you all seeing it with your naked eye.
Yeah, it's hard. It's harder. You have to get close.
Yeah. The year after his record-breaking hunt, he was convicted of raping a prostitute and attempted rape of a housewife. He served 6 months of a 5-year sentence. His charges against the sex worker were dropped as part of the plea bargain. He was released to a halfway house and entered a work release program. Again, Tasha's prison should have come into play here. Walls are still, you're in there with other criminals. Let's see how you get on.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sit in there.
Exactly that. In 1977, Roberts was sent to prison again for stealing a chainsaw.
Oh, great.
Yeah, so he has a plethora of crimes that he liked to do. A bit of rape, a bit of stealing, you know. This time, he was diagnosed with bipolar disorder.
Oh, great. More things. Why have they not blocked this by now?
I know, right? He was prescribed lithium, but he wasn't required to take it by law after his release. So he didn't have to take it. They gave him his drugs and was like, it's your choice. Off you go. You don't have to take it. We're not even going to check on you.
Oh, my God. No.
So by this time, all of his hunting records had been taken away from him. They found out about his criminal record and everything like that. Like, you're not part of the club anymore, which would have hurt him deeply. It's one of the things that he loved. In the early 80s, he reported a burglary on his home, which he staged. And with the money he got from the insurance company, he bought a bakery of his own. And he became quite well known to the police at this point, but just for the bakery, because they would go in there for their donuts.
Yeah,
and, coffee in the morning. Small town, they knew who he was, and he was pretty good at his job. He liked his baking. He was good at it. In January 1982, he bought himself a Piper Sub Club bush plane. He wasn't allowed a pilot license because of the medication that he was on. So he bought this plane and was illegally flying it because he had no license. After his first rape attempt on the prostitute and housewife, he became
an attempt, or he did the deed.
So he raped the prostitutes and he attempted to rape the housewife. He as she was coming home from work one day, he actually followed her up into her house, and as she was trying to open her front door, he tried to rape her, but he didn't get very far. I actually think her husband was at home at the time, and I guess at that point he hadn't done his homework.
Okay.
Yes. So after he'd finished his rape sentence that time, when he was diagnosed with bipolar, he got a hunger for it and became a serial rapist. He would pick up prostitutes and topless model dancers, offering to take their photo or money for their services. He would arrange to meet them at a local cafe or diner, and he would wait outside for them, making sure that they were there alone. So he'd sit outside in his car, he'd watch them go in, he'd wait a few minutes to see if there was anybody going to drive off or anyone was going to go in after them, or if they were going to come out as if to say he hasn't been and maybe get in somebody else's car. He wanted to make sure they were alone. So after waiting, he would go inside for a short time with them, coffee, negotiation about what they were going to do for him, photos, I'll give you money for this. And after a short time, he would leave. Once they were in his car, he would handcuff them to a set that he had already set up. So when they sat in his car, he had a set of handcuffs already handcuffed to the metal of the chair.
Oh my God.
So as they were trying to put their seatbelt on, their hands would go down to put their seatbelt on, and he would clip the handcuff. And he loved it. He loved how easy that was.
Sick person.
Yes. I've now lost my place. He would then take them to a meat shack near the aeroplane hangar, which is where he kept his plane, and he would rape and torture them. The ones that let him rape them, he would let go.
What? What?
Yeah, so if you laid down and complied and did everything that he asked and even play into some of his darkest sexual fantasies, he would let them go. Yeah. The ones that fought him, they were punished even further. He would load them in his bush plane and fly them out into the wilderness where he would let them go. And he would, I've now lost my place. Sorry, I have so many bits of paper here.
You didn't have loads of bits of paper. What did I say? I said, get it organized.
It is organized. It's this piece of paper that's missing. Sorry. So he would let them go. naked and terrified.
Oh my God, so they weren't even clothed?
No.
In Alaska?
In Alaska, yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so he would let them go in the wilderness, still handcuffed, half naked, running through the wilderness in terror, and he would hunt them down and kill them.
Oh my God.
And shooting them with his favorite rifle. So I'm guessing from a distance, maybe, trying to get that one perfect shot again. Once he did kill them, he would take some of their clothing as trophies and he would bury the bodies, marking the places on a map. Between 1973 and 1983, Robert Hansen abducted and raped at least 30 women, and at least 17 of them were killed.
That is a big number to have.
That's a huge number.
Especially for a man that's been diagnosed with so many mental health problems.
Yeah.
Why is he not being checked on?
Well, this is it. Not being checked on. Been in prison for that many things.
Yes.
He's not just...
The negligence against other women is shocking.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shocking.
Rape and attempted rape.
Yeah. You should be put away forever.
Not even being watched. Even after that.
It's the audacity. Seriously.
Yes. We're now just going to go back a year. Okay. So we're going to go back to 1982. So in 1982, 2 off-duty police officers were out on a hunting trip in Anchorage, and they came across the remains of Sherry Marrow. It took almost a week to identify her, and next to her remains was a .223 shell bullet casing. So the bullet was a 223. I don't really know what numbers they call bullets, but it was a 223 shell case bullet. Now her remains, there wasn't really much left of what they found of her, so it took them a while to identify who she was. 2 years before that, they discovered another 2 bodies. First was discovered by a construction crew, and unfortunately the remains have never been identified. They found her near, oh God, I should have googled this word, Etkluntner Road, I think. That's how it's said, I think. And the police nicknamed her Etkluntner Annie. Because they didn't know her name. The second was a topless model, Joanne Messing. And again, a 223 shell case bullet was found next to her body. The police have not yet linked these crimes together. On June the 13th, 1983, a young prostitute named Cindy Paulson was seen by a truck driver running along the road, half dressed with her hands in handcuffs. She was terrified.
Oh my God. Could you imagine rolling up in your truck?
Yeah.
Seeing that a naked woman running at you with handcuffs? What would you do?
Well, you definitely...
You would stop.
Yeah, you definitely would stop.
But it would be terrifying.
Would be. So imagine what she was running from.
Especially... And in the middle of nowhere in Alaska. That's scarier.
Ice cold. She was half naked. Yeah.
Wow.
What has she been through?
Oh my gosh.
Yes. So he picked her up. She didn't speak. She was too scared to speak. And he dropped her off at her hotel. And later on that evening, she plucked up the courage to call the police. When the police arrived, they questioned her and she told them all about the horrible evening she spent in terror. She was raped repeatedly and tortured all night until this man had fallen asleep. And then in the morning, she was taken to a private airport where he told her that if she made a noise or a fuss, that he already had an alibi and nobody would believe her over him. She'd also told them how she watched him load the plane with his large gun. And in that one moment, she found her escape and she ran.
Good for her.
Yeah.
Run.
Yeah. Literally trying to, get out.
Get out of that situation if you can.
Oh my God.
Every opportunity, fight.
Exactly that. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
She's so brave.
Terrifying, yes. After taking her statement, the police went to the airport hangar. They located the plane. They found the owner of the plane. They located the car. And everything that Cindy had told them about every detail was true. The owner of all of these things was Robert Hansen. The police arriving at his house, and after questioning him, he gave them permission to search his house. And everything Paulson had told them had told the police about his house was correct. Everything but evidence that she'd ever been there. There was no items of her clothing that was left behind. There was no items of all the torture things and everything that she said happened to her. There was no evidence of any of that in his house. There were also no weapons. The only weapons they did find were hidden in a wall. But he was a hunter. He had, even though his stuff had been taken away, it was evident that that's what he did for fun. So the police thought, it's just a normal guy.
And this is Alaska we're talking about.
Yes. The police checked out his alibi, and 2 people said that, yes, he'd spent the night with them, and his alibi was solid, so the police stopped questioning him. Meanwhile, the detectives who were investigating the murders of the 2 bodies found that there were 17 missing young women, unexplained missing women. Their murders were left unsolved, and together with the evidence that they found on the crime scene, started to link the murders together. After questioning Hansen and his alibi checked out, one of the police officers couldn't let it go. He wasn't convinced. He was like, this is definitely something weird going on. So on September the 2nd, 1983, the body of Paula Golding had been found again in similar circumstances. So the Alaskan investigation started to look a little bit more closely into Hansen again. But this time they had the help of the FBI. The FBI sent a profiler, and he told them that the killer would have low self-esteem, a history of being rejected by women, be an experienced hunter, and would have had souvenirs of his victims, and would have had some kind of speech impediment like a stutter.
You know what? These FBI agents, right, that can say and describe what these men or serial killers, you know, what they do, what they're like, what they drive, how tall they are, what color hair they're going to be.
What hand they write with. Possibly. Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah. I always, whenever they're like, oh, we've got a police profiler, and he said, I'm like, right. Just literally, that is it. That's the killer.
Yeah.
Don't deflect from that.
No.
That's what you're looking for.
You need to listen to everything that they say.
Yeah. Because they're always right.
The science behind it is astonishing.
Yeah.
And if anyone hasn't seen Mindhunter out there,
amazing.
It's on Netflix, and I'm telling you, it's one of the best shows I've seen. And it just kind of, you can watch it kind of, you know, they are creating this stereotype with all these serial killers, and it's amazing.
Yeah, it is a good show.
It.
Yeah, it's good.
And I love that they even got it to a T of his stuttering.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly. Yes. The police had a plan now, and they needed a warrant. This will be the first case to be granted a warrant on a killer's profile alone. So they had no other evidence. They had nothing but this. Usually when you go for a warrant to search somebody's house, you need reasonable grounds for said warrant, not I think it's a guy with a stutter.
That's right.
So they have to have something. But the police did want to sweeten the pot to make sure that they got what they needed. So for the judge, they stated that the items they were looking for were things like personal items of the victims and stuff like that. So they knew what they were going to be looking for from the profiler. And they were given 8 warrants to search his house, car, and his plane. The police brought Robert in for questioning, and the FBI trained them on how to question him. Because Hansen, being psychologically messed up.
Yeah, well, he has what?
Bipolar. He had a lot going on in his brain. Also, most of these killers like this are very clever when it comes to lying about what they've done.
They're extreme narcissists.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, that's what they do. Yeah. And they are psychopathic.
Yeah. Yes.
You know, and people that are psychopaths, they can manipulate you into thinking that they are good people, that they are telling the truth. You know, you don't know what you're talking about, and they are believable.
Very believable, very, very clever. The police left him in a room with photos of all the victims, with evidence, circles of maps, pictures of where he could have been, pictures of his car, the aeroplane hangar. They left him in this room with all of the evidence pointing to the fact that he was the killer. And they also told them that they were to lead him in the conversation, get him talking, because the more he talked, the more he would mess up and the more he would start telling them the truth. While he was being questioned, the police searched his car and they found nothing. They searched the plane again, they found nothing, and they searched his house. They got his wife and children out of the house. Again, it's a very sensitive case. He had 2 young children and a wife.
How old were they at this time?
I'm not.
Okay,
when
that's fine.
Yeah, you're at the end, you'll know the reason as to why.
No matter what, it's going to be traumatic for any kids to find out that their dad might have done something
exactly that. They found weapons again, but this time they found the 223 Ruger Mint 14, which is a rifle murder weapon. They found the murder weapon. They found IDs of the victims, and they found jewelry. One of the victims' families actually came through and said that one of the ladies had this particular gold necklace on, and they found that gold necklace. They had a photo of it and they matched it with the gold necklace that was found in his house. The FBI also matched the shell casings that they found around the bodies to the gun that were found, with the gun. They had their killer. Hansen, now knowing that he'd been caught, he made a plea bargain. He would confess to the murders of the bodies that were found and the rape, but he wanted his family's names to be kept out of it and wanted to go to prison outside of Alaska. So the reason why there's no details, I mean, I looked everywhere. There's no details of his wife. There's no details of his children. There's no details of any of his ex-partners. They literally, I think, to get him to...
confess the amount and the number behind it. I wouldn't want to be involved with my dad's bullshit either.
Yeah, and I think the police did the family a bit of a favor because also as well, whenever he was going to decide to bring a victim home instead of taking it to the airplane hangar, he would send his wife and kids on a trip to Europe.
Oh, you're kidding.
He'd send them away to Europe so that he could bring the victims back to his house. And then transport them to the airplane hangar. So his wife had no idea. A lot of the wives have no idea, but she particularly was not even in the country while this was happening.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, so she was gone.
Poor woman.
Yes. So after his conviction, so he was only convicted of 4 murders. All right, he wasn't convicted of all 17. They only convicted him of the 4 murders. So after his conviction, the police took him to the Alaskan bush, and he showed them the 17 burial sites of the victims in the Alaskan bush, going with them to point them out. So his map that he had, that they found, it had markers on the map. There were 30 marks on this map altogether.
Oh no. Okay, so the number could have been even higher.
Even higher, yeah. So he only showed them 17, but there was to believe that there were so many more bodies to be found, and they think that he didn't show them those because he couldn't justify it to himself. And in his own words, you can't rape a prostitute, can you?
Oh my God,
yeah.
That makes me so angry.
Yeah.
These girls are out here just trying to make some money.
They have kids, probably kids at home.
This is it. Where is daddy? Don't know.
Yeah.
No idea.
Yeah.
Can't be bothered.
Yeah.
Right? I got 3 kids to feed. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
You're going to do everything you can.
Yeah, exactly
right?
that.
It makes me mad because people pigeonhole, the sex worker community, and I don't like it.
No, everyone has their reasoning for doing things. They've got to make some money.
Yeah.
So that's what they're doing. And the fact that, there were 17 bodies found. There were possibly 21 full victims altogether. The fact that those other, it's 4 or 5 victims could have been a housewife, could have been a school teacher.
This is it.
Like anybody, the fact
just because you're a school teacher doesn't mean you can pay your bills.
No, exactly that. Well, this is it.
Right? You have to do what you have to do, and these poor women, you don't know if they have addiction problems, but to treat them like trash and say that, oh well, you can't rape a prostitute.
Well, this is it.
You are a disgusting human being.
Yeah, completely disgusting.
You don't treat people like that.
No,
period.
And the fact that he thought that it was okay for him to rape these women because they were sex workers anyway. They were topless models, they're showing it to me anyway, so I'm just going to do it.
Yeah, because that's what you do.
That's what you do.
You know?
Normal people do. Not
I know.
All the victims that were found were returned to their families. So
Good.
all of the bodies they found. Because of the Alaskan bush, some of the bears and things had also.
Of course, wildlife is gonna take over.
So, you know, some of the. I think, you know, it was probably amazing that he showed them where they were, because whether the police would have ever found those bodies, you know, and they have this map with marks on it, but you know, there's a mark on it, but that can cover quite a large square inch of the map that could be a miles long. So even if they went to look for the other dots on the map, there's not guaranteed that they're going to find something.
The worst thing is that he knew where every single one was.
Yes.
Yeah. Like on point.
On point. Yeah.
I can't remember what I did yesterday. How do you remember where you've like dug up, raped, killed, murdered, and then, you know, threw them out in the wilderness, and you're going to know exactly where they are?
Well, this is it.
That's premeditation.
Yeah.
You're a nasty human. Like, go get put down.
Exactly that. But how many killers that we see when they've murdered somebody and buried somebody go back to revisit? You know, Ted Bundy went back and had sex with the bodies again, didn't he?
Oh, I know.
When he buried them, and he knew exactly where they were buried.
I know.
You know, so these killers, they know where they're burying them.
It's like a trophy for them, and it's very strange that in that trauma you can remember that much. I think it is amazing what the brain will let you remember and not let you not remember.
Yes, very much so.
But if you're my memory, nothing.
And mine too, yes. On February the 18th, 1984, Hansen was found guilty and sentenced to life in prison, plus 461 years.
Yeah, see you later.
I know.
Bye.
Yeah. I love the way that they're like, we're just going to add like 900 years.
Yeah.
Just, you're not coming out.
Yeah.
You're in there.
Like, you're never ever going to come out.
Yeah. Good. Yes. He was first sent to the United States Penitentiary. Thank you. In Lewisburg, Pennsylvania, before being moved back to Alaska and sent to Lemon Creek Correctional Center. Then he was moved to Spring Creek Correctional. There we go, center. On May the 11th, 2014, he was moved to Anchorage Correctional Center to have medical attention for an undisclosed health condition. Hansen died on August 21st, Oh my goodness me.
Man, she's stuttering.
Oh, I've got a real bad tongue tie. That's really awful. Let me start that sentence again.
Is.
Oh, you guys were talking about him. Hansen died on August 21st, 2014 at the Alaskan Regional Hospital due to an undisclosed health condition, illness. He had a do not resuscitate on his file.
Good.
They shouldn't be allowed to do not resuscitate, these murderers, if they've murdered somebody and they need medical treatment. Give that to someone else.
You know, after a certain number, I think they should just look in the room and go, shame. I mean it.
Yeah, I'm the
same. Shame.
Yeah, I'm the same.
We're not going in there trying to resuscitate you. No. If you're dying from a natural cause, you're going to be in there and you're going to die from it.
Yeah, exactly that.
And you're not going to get medical attention that other people can use.
Yeah, exactly. Give it to someone else.
You murdered 17 people, raped and murdered and killed them. You're a piece of shit.
Absolutely.
And you deserve to die.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
I'm not harsh at all.
No, well, I agree. I do. Well, I agree and I disagree at the same time. I agree because I feel like the death penalty is too easy. I feel like the death penalty is far too easy for some of these people because they don't have to suffer anymore. They put all of this suffering on other people and then they're going to have a little injection and just go to sleep forever. Who knows where they go when they die?
Well, yeah, of course.
You know, to me, shove them in a hole. You know, they used to have chain gangs back in the day, didn't they? They used to chain them up, dig the railroads or whatever it is they used to dig.
Well, put them to work. That's what they do now.
Yeah, put them.
That's what they do.
Yeah, well, do something. They can give them a toothbrush and they can brush the stones, little mini stones on the ground.
I'm sure that is exactly what they do in most places.
Okay, fine. I'm happy with that. Good.
Prison system is fucked.
And then they get put in the cell with some big dude named D.
Yeah. like that Sublime song. Excuse me.
Yeah, so I do feel like death is far too easy out.
And sometimes, yes, it is.
Yes.
It is. But when it comes to natural causes like Hansen, they should have just watched.
Yeah, they should have done. Yeah, let him just do suffer.
You know, peeped around the corner just to be like, oh, shame.
Yeah. But can you, like, the girls that were in the plane thinking that he let them go and they were running for freedom or whatever they were running to hear, and it misses. So immediately you're being shot at.
Yeah. I can't. It like makes me panic because I know that see, and this is where I come from in this paranormal real life scary, right? This is scary.
Yes.
Because this was an actual living human being that has done this to a separate gender, right? Just because of what? Sex?
Really? Rejection.
Really?
Rejection. Yeah.
You petty motherfucker. Yeah. Right?
Yes, it would have
been. You are an absolute loser. You're a loser. Yeah. What is this? Honestly, I can't. It does make me angry for those girls that were absolutely terrified.
Yeah, and some of them were as young as 17 years old.
Oh my God, babies.
Just, the young girls. Again,
17. That's not a prostitute. So even him saying, you know, oh, well, they're just prostitutes. Who cares? Yeah. That's not true. That's a 17-year-old child.
Although a 17-year-old child back then might have been a prostitute.
When you say back then, it wasn't that long ago.
60s, 70s, and 80s.
I'm telling you, that's not that long ago.
Well, no, it's not that long ago, but in the 70s, there were some very young prostitutes out there.
Well, yes.
Kids run away from home.
Of course, the 70s was everyone ran away from home.
Yeah, everyone was traveling around.
You know, doing the devil's lettuce, you know.
Yeah, devil's lettuce.
Good old devil's lettuce. Yeah. I love the devil's lettuce. It's my favorite.
Yeah. Well, the other day somebody said that something at any one time there is something ridiculous number of serial killers doing their thing. Like I think it was like 6 serial killers at one time, like in our year, for instance. That right now there are 6 serial killers out there killing their first victims. Or planning to kill their first victims.
It is nuts, though.
It's crazy.
Yeah, but don't you, like, I don't know about you, right? Or any of you guys out there, but do you guys just go and, like, sit at a mall just to watch people?
Yeah, I do.
And think, what do they go home to?
Yes.
What's their life like? Is it, like, you know, my thought process goes, but I do love to people watch.
I like to people watch, too. And it's also that thought that, you know, his wife, for whatever reason, she obviously loved him, she married him and had 2 children with him.
Yeah, but thinking that your husband at home, right, has sent you on this lovely holiday, right? She's living her best life, right? She might feel like she's in love. Could you imagine getting a phone call like that? Yeah. I'd lose my mind.
You just don't know.
Like, I would lose my mind because they were together for a while.
Yeah.
Could you imagine if I got a phone call like that? Oh my God. I'd be more scared. Yeah. Like, I'd be more scared for him because of what I'm going to do.
Say, he's probably better off in prison.
What I'm going to do, right? Because, the concept, right, is insane, right? To think that your husband is doing that shit behind your back. Right?
Yeah.
You see all these, you know, cheating. Like TikTok is the worst for like people cheating.
Oh, it's terrible.
Right?
Yes.
It's horrible, right? So fucking wrong, right? But, right? It's insane to think, oh no, your husband's not just cheating. He's kidnapping, raping, and killing many women. Yeah. That's on a different level of, oh my God.
Yeah, completely like.
But not me?
Yeah.
That must be such a mind fuck to go, but what about me?
Yeah. Why was it not me?
And what about our 2 girls? Is that what you think our 2 girls are? Trash? that it's yeah,
it's insane.
It's a thinker.
It
for
is a
sure.
thinker. And I remember when I watched the Ted Bundy one with his wife and the daughter. They did one on
the girlfriend.
Sorry, they did one on
Amazon Prime,
which was the out of all the Ted Bundy things I've seen, that was quite a good one. And she said that now, looking back at their relationship, she could see when he was going to kill, because he would get antsy, he would get a bit aggressive, he would get very restless, and then he'd be like, oh, I'm off away for the weekend or whatever, and then he would go, and then he would come back and he would be her husband again. So now looking back, she said she could see it, but when you're in that situation, you don't know, because that's normal behavior. That is what your husband does.
Well, there's another show out there called man, it just went past my brain.
Oh no, I
hate it when that happens. The Devil You Know. That's
okay.
The Devil You Know.
Okay.
It's insane.
Wow.
It's like girlfriends, boyfriends, husbands, wives, and it's a really good show. So if you guys haven't seen that, it is worth a watch for sure. It's worth a watch. You'll have to find it. I'll find it on YouTube.
Okay.
But it's a good one, because all these people are with these people and they don't know who that person is. And it could be 15, 20, 50 years later of finding out that your other half has done something like so malicious and so violent.
Yes, that's violence.
It's the violence.
Yes. I would struggle with that. Would be a struggle for me, even if it was a GBH, ABH, or something that didn't get them sent to prison for a long time. That violence, and then to be like, oh darling, I love you.
Yeah, see, that's on another level of scary. How you can decompartmentalize.
Ooh,
look at me. Look at me. I still can't say it's right. But yeah, you put it in different boxes, don't you?
Yeah.
And it's very interesting how they can put it in a different box, go home and be like, oh, sweetie, I love you so much.
Yeah.
I've just spent 3 hours raping another woman and then shot her, buried her outside. What is wrong with people? Yeah. What is wrong?
Well, we're going to find out in Twisted Chamber.
These people are crazy.
They are crazy. And it's scary that, as you say, that in amongst us, everyday living, the person that comes and has their hair cut with you, the person
now look, I'm not gonna lie to you, right? That terrifies me. But I don't have a day where I don't think about it.
Okay.
Never have I ever. I think it's a woman thing.
Yes.
I really do. I think women watch these things to get some knowledge.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
To know maybe what to do in the panic.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's scary.
And actually doing this case, because where we work, we have a 5-10 minute walk to the car, and at night time it's pretty dark. It's the road is a bit busy, but it can be quite dark, especially in that bush bit.
It's the worst.
It's the worst. And I often think to myself, I'm walking down there and I'm like, if somebody wanted to kidnap me, they would kidnap me. There would be nothing I could do about it right now. If somebody
I don't know, if someone tried to kidnap me, I'm gonna knife you. Right? Because every time I walk, right, my keys are in my fist. I'm ready. Yeah. I am ready to fight. Yeah. Every time I walk to the car.
Oh, I'm ready to fight.
Never ever have I walked to my car without my keys in my fist going, all right, motherfucker, I'm ready.
I'm ready. I'm ready to fight. But if a 6'5" burly man wanted to pick
I'm gonna
me
go
off
for your
the
nuts.
Street,
I'm gonna go for your nuts.
I feel like you have a good opportunity to take me.
Well, I'm gonna hope and pray that never happens.
I'm hoping and praying it never happens.
Because I'll find you. I will find you, Natasha.
Thanks.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'll be all taken and shit. I'll be Liam Neeson. Right?
Yes. But I do in scenarios, in situations, I do often wonder how many, like yourself, I've got my keys in my hand, I'm gonna go for his nuts. Guy comes up behind you, pulls up in a van, caught by surprise. And one of my clients told me when she lived in Canada that she was walking along the road and a car pulled up next to her. She didn't notice because she was just walking home. And he opened the boot of his car. Again, she was walking, so she kind of looked, was a bit like, oh, that's a bit weird, but carried on walking. He pulled her into the back of her car, his car. He put his arm around her neck and almost got her in the trunk of his car. And if it wasn't for an actual another car coming round the corner and him getting shocked, she had a split second and she took it and she ran and just knocked on some random person's door. And luckily, that person was in. Because she said if he had taken her, I don't know what would have happened to her.
Well, I feel you on that story. I have also had a story like that with me in my life. Yes, I have. Yeah, and I don't like it.
Okay.
I don't know if I should share it on this Twisted Chamber or not.
Well, that's up to you.
You know, I'm not sure.
Now I feel I need to ask you.
I don't know. Really? I'll just give you a summary. Dude. Okay. I worked at a mall.
Yeah.
Right, and it was during Christmas time. Right. And we weren't allowed to park close to the door of this massive mall. It's huge.
Okay.
So we had to park in the very back where they had parking structures.
Okay.
And it was a 3-story parking structure, right? So it was big. And it was late at night. It was 9 o'clock at night. And I went to go up the stairs, and it's like circular stairs all the way up. And I go up the first one, and out of the corner of my eye, I see a guy in a fucking trench coat.
Oh right? My gosh.
It was a fucking trench coat. And I kind of thought to myself, right? Where I was like, you know, what do I do in this situation? Am I just judging him because he's wearing a trench coat?
Always judge.
Right? You're judging because the guy looks like a dick in a trench coat, right? At night. Okay.
Yes.
So I go up the other flight of stairs, and he comes up the next flight of stairs. God. And then I get to the top, and he's up following me up to the very top, which was staff only. Basically. It was staff only.
Yeah.
And I had asked the security guards, which were pointless.
Of course they were.
To make sure that on every hour there's somebody up there, because people get off work. So we need to have security. Well, there's none.
Yeah, of course.
So I grabbed my phone and did the obvious thing. And I called my bestie. I called my best friend Eddie. And I was like, hey bro, like, I'm gonna meet you at the car. You know, I'm right here. I can see you, so that he could hear me from behind.
Yes.
Well, his feet quickened, and I ran. I didn't want to look behind me. His feet quickened. I ran to my car, opened my car, slammed the door, and in my rear view mirror, he looked at me and then beelined it to the other side of the parking lot.
Oh God!
And I was like, "What the fuck was that?" Was he chasing me? Because let me tell you, women, okay? Let me tell you, all you women out there, right? Or any men, or I don't care, right? If you've been followed or chased by someone, you know that you've been chased by someone because you can hear their footsteps behind you. You're in a parking lot in a trench coat, bro. I don't want to have any party. I don't want you to walk past me.
No.
I want to get to my car and I want to lock the door.
Yeah.
So I like pulled out like really quickly, and he had parked on the opposite side of me.
Wow.
4 cars down, and he had his trunk open. And he looked at me and he nodded his head. I cannot tell you, I couldn't drive. Wow. I had to drive. I sped off, pulled my car into Target at the time, which was literally right across from the mall. Sat at Target, called Eddie again because he's like, hey dude, like, sorry I missed your call. And I'm like hysterical crying. And my friends, they went up and they like circled with, you know, things, right? They circled looking for this guy in his car, couldn't find him. But there were people that went missing where I was, and in where the place I grew up in Riverside. So there was a girl that had gotten kidnapped like months after that. I'm telling you,
it's terrifying.
You have to follow your gut, because the entire time that whole thing happened, you're going, no way. No way. That's not happening right now. You know, this guy is not chasing me in a parking lot. No way. You know, I just didn't want to look behind me.
No, of course not.
Because you want to just get to where you need to get to.
Yeah. You don't need confirmation that someone's actually chasing you. You just need to book it and run.
Run.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I ran.
Oh God, buddy. Oh no, how awful.
Yeah.
That's terrifying.
Oh my God. I was what, 17, 18, maybe 17 at the time.
And that's young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was young.
Scary.
Yeah. But you know, my bestie came,
there you go.
tried to help me. You know? But yeah, that's my little real life story, everyone.
Yes.
Hope you enjoyed that real life scare. Yes. Oh Jesus.
It is, yeah. You can have a ghost, but an actual human that you can't just say a spell at or throw some herbs on, that they'll go away. They won't go away, they will keep coming.
I will shake, shake, shake.
Shake, shake.
Shake, shake, shake. Okay. Don't mess with me.
I got my keys.
That's right. Well, everyone.
Yes.
Thank you, inmates, for stopping in on this Christmas episode.
Have a lovely Christmas, everybody.
Yes, and New Year, because we will be back in sometime in January.
Yes, we will.
Yes.
Yeah, we will. We're having a little break so you can enjoy your holidays and Christmas time. And yeah, we'll be back in January.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm excited.
Very excited.
For this new year.
New year, new horrible twisted things.
Twisted things.
Yes, right then. We will let you go now. Next time you might not be so lucky.
See ya.
Bye.